Manhattan. And so we also kind of came up out of an alternative model. And it's not the alternative model so much that we're going to be highlighting today, but it's the fact that early on I really thought about how am I going to be teaching Hebrew to these students. I didn't want to recreate a Hebrew class like are in traditional schools. So I turned to the internet, and I turned to creating something called Hebrew Homepage. So on Hebrew Homepage, there are 3 tracks: Learn to Read Hebrew, Prayer Book Fluency, and then Modern Hebrew for Children who want to go there. And I have been able to hire about 50 tutors, many of whom are college students. And yeah, this is the page that Smadar is showing you. And I start with this. So this is not what we're going to highlight, because this is the basis sort of how I got into this. And it was so successful. It was an unintended success, meaning like it started with 40 kids, and then last year I had 287 kids online for 30 minutes a week with a tutor. We used this platform called Zoom, and the parents were able to kind of log into this site, pick a tutor, pick a half an hour that worked for them. And what was also very successful, not only were they like learning how to read Hebrew and learn some of the prayers, but it was in their homes. And that became very successful because the parents loved having it in their homes, because it isn't something that they thought that they could really support themselves. And so they felt like there was this Jewish, something Jewish happening at their kitchen table or at their counters. And also because it was one-on-one and only for 30 minutes, the kids really could stay focused, and it was really, you know, geared just for them, and they were able to make some good progress. So we thought that we would build off of that. And in building off of that, I turned to Smadar, who is the founder of this organization and company called JETS, Jewish Educational Technology in Jerusalem. And I said to her, because I knew she had developed other kinds of online courses, would she work with me to develop 4 different courses that the kids could take online, also with a tutor one-on-one, and that they could possibly kind of marry with a half an hour of Hebrew. So it doesn't have to be that way, meaning I'm going to show you what some of the units are to give you a sense. There's probably many ways to use these units, but I do want to state from the get-go that my intention was to say, okay, like this is for those students, Lois, who are going to live out there at the beaches, and they could be online for an hour a week, and they could do a half an hour of Hebrew and a half an hour of one of these units from their home, get some Judaica during the week, and then come to your program on Sunday, or however you kind of set it up.
Right.
You know, something like that. My program has different courses during the week that the kids come to. They're like more, you would call them electives probably. And then they do Hebrew and one of these classes online, also at home, once a week. So I do this as 12 sessions over a course of a semester. So if you think about it, they get 24 sessions over the course of the year. So that's why these various units that you see all have 12 sessions in them. So the first one we developed them kind of simultaneously, but the first one up here is called Jewish Calendars and Holiday Course 1, and you kind of see the various topics. The second one is called Mitzvot, Caring Through Action. This course was really developed for like the 5th and 6th, 7th grader, to talk a little bit about mitzvot and to try to widen their understanding of a mitzvah, so it becomes richer than just saying helping a person. I mean, helping a person is good, but there's more to it than just doing a good thing for someone. So we try to develop this in such a way that we started with mitzvot that we know are important to children today, like helping the environment, tzedakah, lashon hara, and then we moved on to some other ones that are maybe new to them, such as family in the business, or they may not know that a mezuzah is a mitzvah, things of that nature. Then we have this course called Back to the Book, the Genesis course. This is a course on the first book of the Torah. In addition to introducing the Torah and going through these stories, each one really has a value. So our intention was more than just reviewing the story. It was also to pull out a value from each story. So the story of Avram and Sarah is about welcoming guests. The birth of Isaac is about Bikur Holim, the fight for Sdom. It doesn't say here, but it's about justice, and on and on. And the last one is about Jewish values, people who live by them. For the older children, I suggest this also for the 5th through 7th graders. And similarly, we wanted to focus on values and then illustrate these values by important individuals in Jewish history and Jewish life that we wanted the kids to know about. So we consciously started with pardon me?
Alyssa Berg just got audio, so you're hearing that. Hi, Alyssa.
Oh,
hi there, how are you?
Hi. So the first like 6 people here are people, aside from Debbie Friedman, and these people are people who you might think are no longer living, and the people going forward are people who are contemporary. Sadly, Debbie Friedman passed away, but she was more contemporary than the others. And then we have some units at the bottom that are like extra units of teacher, if you wanted to switch them up. So that's sort of a quick overview of what they look like. Now, let me just see something. The first one I'm going to show you, and Smadar has kindly let me run this webinar because I'm trying to teach myself how to do this. But if I get into any kind of trouble, I'm hoping, Smadar, you'll jump in, right?
Absolutely.
So these lessons are on Google Slides. If you're familiar with Google Slides, and every slide has both information and an activity. And the goal of this, you'll see, is not, it's to be much more interactive using what Smadar has taught me is called EdTech tools, than to just have discussions. So the first one is, I'm showing you is Sukkot, because Sukkot is coming up. These are the goals. And the students did on an earlier one, they did an acrostic for Yom Kippur. So this is like a review. They had gone, they put their names in, and then of course it said, okay, well, A, I ate too much candy for A. Or the second person said, I acted poorly in class. And for B, I'm buying too many clothes. And then to show you how this works, if you're not familiar with it, if I give Lois, I just gave you the remote, you can now click into C, and you can add yourself. You don't have to add your name right now, but just add, like, if you were creating it on a Shamnu based on the alphabet, what would you put that starts with a C?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Collaborated with poor intentions.
We're just cheating.
Chatted disrespectfully.
I can't, it's not coming up though. Should it?
Hold on.
Am I writing or?
You should be writing. Hold on. Yeah, there. I gave you the
Controls.
You have the control now. You should be able to click in it and write.
There's a box, but.
Just try typing. You could also, when we do this during class, you see the link across the top, the URL. It's in view only, but we would change it to edit, and then every student could type simultaneously if there were multiple kids in the class. And if not, whenever the student is typing, every student has access to it. So that would be an alternate way to engage.
Okay, Diganit, you try to click in it. I just gave you a control. Let's see if that works.
Are you on a phone?
Nope, I'm on a laptop. Let's see.
Really? Your laptop's in your car. Alyssa, where are you located?
In West Bloomfield, Michigan.
Oh, nice. And you're affiliated with the synagogue there?
Yeah, Congregation Beth Am.
Beth Am.
And I'm on a screen and a telephone because I couldn't get the sound on the screen. So.
That's all right.
Are you with it? Oh, there we go. So any luck?
No, I can click the boxes,
Okay.
but I can't get inside of it.
Okay, we will look into that. So, yeah, I can't get inside of it either, Smadar. So we'll look into that. I don't know why.
But it says view only at the top. I know why. Sorry. See, it says view only. It's not.
Oh. Oh. No, I shouldn't have to do this.
But you logged in with your other account. Maybe.
Okay. So the very first thing is they review what they did last week, and then we introduce the material for this week. We have brought the verse from Leviticus and just a picture of Sukkot. And then we have some information here about why we sit in the sukkah. And the next one is a video that we embedded. This happens to be from, it used to be called Godcast, but now it's called BIMBOM, if you're familiar with them. And this is their video about how you build a sukkah, which I'm not going to show you in the interest of time. And here, which is very fun, is this is called a wiser. And we use these often in these lessons where the students now have an opportunity to do some activities, answer questions, etc. So this what happens to be, they would put their name in, they would answer, they would look to see here are the guidelines for building a sukkah, and they would have to click which pictures are the pictures that abide by those guidelines halakhically. And then this one, they just submit it. That's sort of how that wiser works. Then we have a mitzvah to shake the lulav. So the teacher here gets an opportunity to explain the different parts of the lulav, both the lulav and the hadas and the arov. And here's a little picture of course, the etrog here. If the teacher is at home and has the opportunity, they could shake the lulav in front of the camera in the way that the arrows indicate the shaking. And then we have this video about shaking the lulav. Though, Smandar, do you remember what the point of this video is?
I think to teach them how to shake the lulav in all the different directions.
Let's see. So hopefully you should be able to hear this.
God said on the first day of this festival, take the fruit of good trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of leafy trees, and willows of the brook, and party it up with God. That's all that Torah has to say on this holiday. But fortunately, the Talmud explains what to do with these four species. The three green species, we bind together into a green lightsaber, meaning lulav. Meanwhile, the fruit of the good tree is identified as an etrog. And etrog has an amazing fresh citrus smell, but if you chop it up, there's like zero fruit. Don't bother trying to eat it. You'll just be pissed off. You hold the etrog to the hilt of the lulav. You shake it around, and boom! You fulfilled a mitzvah. Some mitzvot are so easy. The Kabbalist Arizal said we shake it in 6 directions to draw energy to the heart, each direction symbolizing a mystical sphere. Lulav, so cool, but what's the meaning? Well, like so many Jewish traditions, there are multiple answers. Some say the 4 species symbolize parts of the body. Others say different types of people. Me, I just enjoy the feeling, the sound, and the smell.
So that is a really cute video that is part of this. And what I want to show you, I'm going to move you guys all up here for a moment, is at the bottom, there are these teacher's notes. So when the teacher is not in the present mode, but really just opens the Google Slides, down here at the bottom, the teacher is able to kind of prepare for this by reviewing the teacher notes. And then we have, we wanted to show the students that the lulav and the etrog really are ancient symbols in Judaism. And so this is a mosaic image, and I can't read it on the bottom, but it tells us where it comes from, and the students can see the lulav and the etrog in the tile. And, you know, it is sort of an archaeological kind of evidence that it's something that's been in the Jewish kind of life and ritual practice a long time. And then here we have this last, which I love this exercise. This is, it's also wiser. Every student gets their own email login to the wiser. So the wiser is something that every student can do. Uh-oh, that's bad.
That one.
Pardon me?
There
That's
you
something. That's something with my computer, not with the what. That's not with this slideshow. And there are different videos here, And these are videos that talk about gratitude, because if the value of Sukkot, I mean, in addition to hospitality and is also about being grateful, we selected some beautiful little videos about gratitude, and the students watch them, and then they fill out the chart. What kind of kindness is shown in the first one? How is gratitude expressed in this other video? And then they're asked to say what are they thankful in their lives for.
You could try the remote access here if you want, because here.
Pardon me?
Here you could try letting Deganit or Alyssa or Lois type again if you want to try that.
Okay. Here's where they can type in, or they also can record by voice what they're grateful for. And then at the bottom there are the brachot, to review the brachot of being sitting in the sukkah and shaking the lulav. And at the very end, we want them to talk about what would they say the Shechianu about for this year, and a little bit about how does Sukkot connect to gratitude. So this wiser, which appears at the end of many of our lessons, can be used in different ways. I am planning to use it as the students and the teachers, the students and tutors are online like we are. They're going through this entire lesson, and they have a half an hour. So depending on how much the tutor and the teacher talk and how robustly they use these different things will determine how long they have for this last exercise. And if they don't get through this last exercise, the tutor will email it to the parents, and the students can continue doing it at home during the week, if that makes sense. Questions? Concerns?
So just to review, the student can either take a link in a chat box that you can see at the bottom of your screen. It says chat, and the tutor can post a link there. I'll do that so you just get the feel of what it looks like. You could do that, or you could do the remote control feature that Lori tried before. So I'm posting something in the chat box now. It's a live link. If you go in there, you would all be able to post on it. The same with the student, or you could do that remote control access.
Like if somebody now, if we go here, let's see if it works this time around. Okay, Deganit, one more time. See if you can click into where it says the helper and type something.
Oh, we don't watch the video, but all right, you'll just guess.
Oh,
I
right.
just want to see if it works.
Who's doing it? Oh, okay, it's working.
It works.
Yep.
So that just to show you that it actually does work.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
So this particular, wait, let me see where it went. So as you can see, this was part of the course that we're calling Jewish Calendar and Holidays 1. So after that, we have a unit on the Hebrew birthdays. We have something on Shabbat and Havdalah. We have 2 units on Hanukkah. And then we included this wonderful new holiday. I had not heard of it. It's called, is it pronounced Sig?
Sigd, S-I-G-D, yeah.
So why don't you tell people what it is?
So it's an Ethiopian holiday. Because of the honoring the Ethiopian Aliyah movement to Israel, when they were still in Ethiopia, 40 days after Yom Kippur, which is the number 40, we have from Tisha B'Av is Yom Kippur is 40 days. They would all gather on this hilltop near Addis Ababa and pray to Zion, and that was the holiday, to pray towards Zion. And when they came here, many of them actually thought that the temple, the Beit HaMikdash, was still built. They missed a lot of history being where they were. So they were quite startled. So they still kept doing this sig, pray to Zion, because they saw, well, we have Jerusalem, we don't have the temple, and they would meet and pray towards Zion. And so now it's become a national holiday, it's an official national holiday. The entire country is educated in every classroom across the country about sig, about this Ethiopian holiday, also to help us understand and honor their culture and help them to be integrated into Israeli society.
Right, so we included SIG, And we also included for the last unit, new Jewish celebrations. Just let's see what we included here because I haven't looked at this in a while. So do we have any new Jewish celebrations? And here they get to explore some. And this is called a Padlet, what you're about to see. And so it says, learn more about Jewish celebrations that have gained popularity recently. There's the Women's Passover Seder, a Maimuna, a Tu B'Shvat Seder, a second Bar Mitzvah. And they get to read this, and then the students get to participate by clicking, and then they add, well, I did it in the wrong area, but sometimes below, they get to write their name and write a comment. So there are some, they watch something, and then there's like a question, and this is a collaborative piece, if I'm not right, Smandar, and so all their comments show up here, and they can read one another's comments as well.
You just
so that's
put the plus sign there in the columns, and then the student can post.
Right. So that's this particular one. I wanted to show you, this is what's a mitzvah. So we thought that before we started the unit on mitzvot, we wanted to talk about a mitzvah. Let's see if I put it in the presents for how that goes. So this, once again, is a video that we we have permission to use that introduces mitzvot from.
In Judaism, it's not enough to just hold a belief. What's important is what you do. It's an action-oriented religion, and the individual actions are called mitzvahs, or in Hebrew, mitzvot. One mitzvah, for instance, is observing the Sabbath. Another is keeping kosher. They mainly involve rituals, ethics, and relations between people and with God. While mitzvah is often translated as good deed, it literally translates as a commandment. You've probably heard of bar and bat mitzvahs. That just means son or daughter of the commandment. When children become adults in the Jewish tradition, they are now responsible for keeping the mitzvot. Many of the mitzvot are based on common sense ethics, like don't murder, while others don't seem to make sense, like the mitzvah not to combine wool and linen.
Okay, so you could find that. That's a video. That is a mitzvah. Oh yeah. What did I do? Hold on a second. That is from Bim Bam. We wanted to start with what is a mitzvah so that they can have a conversation that's a little broader than it's just doing caring for others. And then over here, they are going to have a weekly log. So every week, we're going to ask the students to go in and to say, okay, this week, this is what I did. I walked my neighbor's dog. It's not, I lit Shabbat candles. And this is something that kind of continues like throughout the whole course. And they come back to it with the tutor every week so that they can kind of see the various mitzvot that they've done, over the week. I feel like I skipped this one. Oh. This is looking at the images below, and they have to click what are the images they think are mitzvah. And the tutor or the teacher can I don't know if a child would necessarily say returning lost objects is a mitzvah, but later on there's a whole session on that. But early on, we wanted to plant the seed that there are things here that returning a mitzvah is indeed a mitzvah, as is eating matzah on Passover. And children may not be used to thinking of mitzvot in that way, in those kind of more broad ways. And then, wait. No, I'm sorry, I'll get there. I have too many things open right now.
You can close the ones that we've done already.
Yeah, I just don't remember what they are, unfortunately. Okay, so here we go.
But we could take kind of a pause and a feedback and just kind of get any responses or thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts about this? Do you have any questions about the technical, educational aspect?
Here, I'm opening it again.
Go ahead, Guy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So it looks great to me. And I guess I'm wondering, I wouldn't expect you to go through the whole thing, but something like teaching Hebrew, does it follow a particular philosophy, teaching
So I teach Hebrew. The Hebrew is something that I'm so sorry. This is something on my computer, guys. Like I said, I have these 3 different courses for Hebrew. For the Learn to Read Hebrew, I happen to use the material that Ray Antonoff, who is in Los Angeles, has created, which is like 8 packets of Hebrew that are very easy and color-coded and very easy to go through. And the kids, if I have a moment, I'll try to find it on the computer to show you what they look like. For the reading fluency and prayer book Hebrew, basically, the synagogues give me sort of like a listing of the matbea, like what do they want their children to learn in which grades, and then we have them on PDFs, and we also have them on MP3s so that the tutor can, the children can listen to the tutor. If you have specific chance anything, we put it on the wiki that we have for the tutors, is what they draw from. In the modern Hebrew for beginners, we have a partnership with an organization in Israel called the Center for Educational Technology, and they created a program years ago called Ivrit B'Klik, and it is these short little videos where children are speaking and introducing one another, and it kind of is graduated, and every little unit has online, it both has the script online and it has sort of like fill in the blank online, matching words online, so there's activities like that. Most of the students do the Learn to Read Hebrew and the reading fluency prayer book Hebrew. Mm-hmm. So I want to say about this is that I'm in part, so I do it for my students here at the Jewish Journey Project, but also in Manhattan, there are 4 other synagogues who kind of contract with me. And I'm open to doing that too, and that they are sitting, and that their students take this or participate in this, and the parents log on, just like my parents log on, and then I have a relationship with the synagogue in terms of, tuition payment, etc. So there's a way to do it that it could be done through a synagogue, or it could be done, if parents do it one-on-one, they can register here. So this is what happens if you, just to show you. So if you wanted to find, you would look for a tutor here. So let's say you like the Huva, and let's say you decided you wanted to start October, the week of October, you would see what time she's available. And you would say, oh, Sunday at 11:30 is great. And you put some information in. And then if you did it as a synagogue, whereas like I have synagogues that say all their kids have to do this, I give the synagogue a code. They put the code in here and it overrides the tuition. If parents individually do this, then they get taken to a PayPal and they pay through PayPal. So it's similarly with the JJConnecT courses, which I was showing you. Here they are. Here are the 4 of them. The parents can click to register on any of these from here as well. And similarly, they go to JJConnecT. They say, oh, I'm going to do this Jewish calendar class. I really like Rachel Lennox. And it says same process. And what we've done to try to make it a little bit easier is when you when you go here, and if you click this class, the teachers that are teaching both Hebrew and the JJConnecT courses, they're highlighted. So if you wanted to pick one teacher to teach both of them back to back, you could do that as well, if that makes sense to you. So that's just the logistics of it, not the content of it, but that's the logistics of it.
Alyssa, did you have any thoughts or feedback or questions?
No, not really. I've seen this kind of stuff before, and I love it. I just can't. I'd like to do it myself, and can't seem to master creating, Padlets and Wisers and stuff. And that's really all I signed up to get more insight as to how to do these things on my own.
Okay. Lois, any feedback?
Yeah, I'm really looking, I think for the Hebrew part, I would expect my kids to come on Sundays. They're not that far away. And we haven't had a problem with that. We do the Judaics on Sundays and also are able to touch base with the Hebrew. So I'm really just looking for a way to
Do the Hebrew.
how would we do the Hebrew with so many different levels of kids? I can't just have everybody come in and we'll do Hebrew. So, so this is
I'm happy to talk to you about that because we have kids at all different levels.
right. Well, it looks like you do the 30-minute session.
Yeah.
If I do